In this lesson, we'll take a look at a few ways we can edit keyframes on Max's trackbar. So in this scene, we're taking a slight break from our aircraft just to take a look at a few more very helpful tools. Let's go ahead and play back the animation. What we see is a hammer swing, and you can see that the timing is a bit off. So we'll be able to use some of these helpful tools to fix this animation. So you can see that the hammer falls too slowly. If we were to go ahead and select the object and take a look at the keys that exist here, we have some rotational keys. They are the green ones. We have positional keys, the red ones, and if you saw any blue keys, they would be scale. Any black keys would essentially be any other parameter that received animation. So what we're going to go ahead and do is first adjust the time at which the hammer falls by adjusting the 3 keys at the end. We'll bring them closer to our start time to speed up the animation. So what we can do is marquee select to grab the keys, and now let's go ahead and slide them. And as we slide them, if you take a look at the bottom left-hand corner of Max, what you'll see is some information on how far we have offset the selected keyframes. So if we wanted to bring this keyframe to frame 60, you can see there that we currently have the first key on 60 and we've created a 10 frame offset. Alright, so if I were to go ahead and let go, let's go ahead and see how the animation looks now, playing it back. Now that looks much more convincing. We're getting a better feeling of weight when the hammer falls, which is nice. Alright, so that's how we could slide keyframes, pretty basic. Now how about scaling keyframes? Let's say if we wanted to speed up the entire animation. Well, in order to do so, we can right click on the trackbar, and from there we choose Configure, and here we have it, Show Selection Range. Now, when we go ahead and marquee select our keyframes, take a look, we now have this bar that we can use to either slide the animation. So I've just delayed it by sliding it over closer to the end time, over to our right. You can hit play to take a look. Notice how slow the beginning is. It's almost like bullet time, if you will. Or we can scale our keyframes. We can do so by dragging any one of these white handles here. So I'll go ahead and drag from the end since we want to speed up the animation a bit. Go ahead and drag closer to the start time. And now what you'll see is that, yes, the beginning is slow. However, the ending is much faster. That looks much more convincing, doesn't it? So it depends at this point what you'd like to see. If you want, you could speed up the entire animation, even the beginning, by simply dragging this bar closer to the start time. And now, here's what we end up with when we play this back. Now we have a more convincing hammer swing, which is really nice. There's a bit of anticipation, and then boom, we move right into the main action, which is the hammer being swung down. Now another technique that I'd like to show you is the ability to create moving holds from the trackbar. This is really neat, and if you'd like to learn more about the usefulness of this tool, feel free to take a look at animation polishing techniques in 3ds Max. But let's say if we wanted to hold a key for a little bit longer, let's say if we wanted the rotation here of our hammer to hold for a bit longer before it swings down, and that's going to create a faster swing. Well, if we want to do that, what we do is go to the rotational value we'd like to capture, so it doesn't have to be on a keyframe at all. I'll go to about frame 39, and what we could do then is hold down shift and drag with the left mouse button over to the frame we like to transfer that value from 39 to. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer this to 45. Once we let go, now we have this create key dialog. We're only working with the rotation, so we can uncheck position and scale and choose OK. Now notice that value that was on 39 has now been transferred to 45. We can move this wherever we'd like, but I'm going to go ahead and keep this on 45 just so you can see what happens. So now when we play back the animation, take a look, there's a hold, and then boom, a much faster swing. So that's really exciting. Again, great for moving holds in animation where we want the character to still move in a very subtle way, but it's mainly for the audience to read what the character is doing or what the character is thinking and feeling at that moment. So what we've learned in this lesson are just a few ways we can modify keyframes from Max's track bar.